a very exciting game on Sunday in that this team is now in first place in the AFC East. You mentioned the challenge flags. Mike Vrabel is quite an in-game coach, but we knew that coming in, right?
Yes.
Because he outclassed Belichick.
That was 19 playoffs, right? Where it was something about penalties and the clock running, and he bled the clock dry.
Yeah, there was a loophole in the rule book that no longer exists, which allowed them, if you're, punting the football, to take certain penalties, and it could be a false start, it could be, any number of things, and that you would just get a re-over, but a do-over, and the clock would keep going. And so they did that against the Jets in a throwaway game at a peak of Bills' pettiness on Monday Night Football at 33-0. And Mike Vrabel's right-hand man, who's now the Patriots' VP of Football Operations and Strategy, Stretch, otherwise known as John Stryker, saw that. They pocketed it, and then they used it against Bill in a game that mattered, in a game that was close in the playoffs, and ultimately gave Brady basically one possession, and a Julian Edelman drop later. They had to punt the ball back, and it was over.
By the way, real quick, we didn't talk about this. I saw this live. Did you see in the North Carolina-Clemson game, Belichick called a timeout with a second left in the game? And ESPN went to studio, and they said, because of that, essentially, about these words, because of that ridiculous timeout by Belichick in this blowout, we're going to go to the other game. I swear to God, that's all true. And I saw it live.
See, I gave up on it.
Oh, no. Why would you give up?
Not at the end. I figured, okay, I've seen him take his lashes. That's enough.
What?
I'm good.
That's exactly. If they were up, I would turn it off. But they were down. That's pure pornographic fun. Seeing him calling a timeout with 1 second left.
I think they said something too, because I watched this. It was flipping around and was like, there's no other games. I guess they'll just, maybe they'll score. And ESPN goes, well, since they're taking a timeout, we will too from them. Go somewhere else.
Okay, so he saw it too. Yeah, they were like bad mouthing Belichick for taking the timeout. Yeah. It was pretty funny. All right, so what do you make? Hardy was talking about this yesterday. If you want to, pick at things that maybe could use improvement. The running game certainly wasn't overly effective. Was that by did they adjust at some point in the game when they knew they weren't going to be able to do that? How does that reflect for the future? Does that concern you?
Yeah, two things do concern me offensively. Number one is the running game. It's the worst in the league right now, and that's by EPA. It's bottom 5 by yards per rush. You have issues with getting to the second level and securing blocks. You have guys like Jared Wilson, who's been much better in pass protection as a rookie at left guard than I've expected, but is not strong enough at the point of attack. And then there's one play right at the goal line. Do you remember, they get down there third quarter. It's at the 2-yard line. They rush for 1. And then second and goal from the 1, they go backwards 3 yards. So they ran this play power, which is very common. And he's supposed to pull from his left guard spot over to the right. And a very common tell for plays like this with a pulling guard, like Jared Wilson, is sometimes they will set back a little bit further doing, hey, I got to get on the move and go over there. So he sets further back, and I tweeted this clip yesterday. And that's an immediate tell, especially considering the Patriots had their longest run of the day to TreVeyon Henderson, 7 yards, on power. Javon Gotcho used to play here, points at him. Guy next to him shoots the gap immediately, and they get the 3-yard loss. So those tells and the stance stuff isn't happening every week, but the bad timing, not getting to the second level, it is. And the last thing I'll say is this. The second thing I'm worried about is play calling, because this was a terrible second half for Josh McDaniels. TreVeyon Henderson right now, for the super stat nerds, is the least efficient rusher in the league by rushing yards over expectation. Meaning, when they track the GPS location of all the defenders and all the blockers and what you should get based on all the running stats and all the history that we have, he is getting a yard, 1.2 yards fewer than he should be per carry.
Oh, wow.
And you see that with some impatience. That is the worst number in the league by that stat. I think he'll get better. But this is a guy I was praising a couple weeks ago going, he got much more patient. Pittsburgh game was no good. Carolina, thumbs up. He was back to just running straight into defenders again in New Orleans.
So you can see that like on film. You can see him.
Yeah, some of the stuff you go, I don't know. Like Ramondre Stevenson, for example, got a horrible pass blocking grade for Pro Football Focus. And that's not, stats like I just referenced with Next Gen Stats. But I'm looking and going, okay, he let up one pressure where he had a successful cut block, and the other stuff, he's passing off stunts better than some of the linemen are. Like, he really got his nose in there. But the grade said, he was terrible. I didn't agree.
Did you see the play? And I think it was TreVeyon Henderson when he was just in like a 3-point stance or something.
I tweeted this out.
Okay, you did. You're the one who tweeted it out.
I said, He's Madden glitching right now.
Okay.
Because he's just,
That's right. Not
shuffling
blocking
over,
anybody. Just
doing nothing.
Yeah, he was looking at a basketball
I did see
defensive
that,
stance,
yes.
and he was kind of just like, but he looked very intense.
Well, and the thing was that play rolled in his direction.
Fear.
And he didn't move.
To the right.
He just kind of
And
pivoted.
if he just turns around because it's 3rd and 1 and takes his shuffling arms to Drake Maye, there's a catch. And he just was blocking nobody.
Do you think that he might? This kind of goes along with the rushing stat that he might just be completely lost. Like when they call a play, like it's as simple as he doesn't know where to go.
No, I don't think it's that bad.
Okay.
The pass protection is bad, though. And I think he probably got away with a hold on the second touchdown to Boutte. So the second touchdown thrown, but the first one to Kayshon Boutte. It's extended play. Maye goes up in the pocket. Like the pass blocking has not been what it was advertised at Ohio State. I don't think it's for lack of effort. I just think there's a tendency with rookies, especially guys with his speed. Like, I want to get to top gear. Let me go. And that's the impatience with the running. When he's shuffling like that, though, I'm going to ask him about it tomorrow. Especially as the guy who tweeted the viral clip. Like, hey, do you want to say anything to me?
It. Oh,
yeah,
that's funny.
Well, I just ripped it and just was like, I don't know what this is, but he's glitching a little bit. There's no one in front of him. What's he doing?
That was pretty funny.
But you play long enough, everyone has snaps like that. So his just happened to be Sunday.
Well, people stole it from you. You're not getting the credit you deserve because I'm not even on Twitter. I saw it on Instagram. Someone stole it from Callahan. You gotta.
It happens.
You gotta put like writing over it.
Watermark
like
on it,
watermark on
that's
it.
a good point.
That says Andrew Callahan found this. All right, gentlemen.
Yes, wide receivers. Obviously, this time it was Pop Douglas's time to shine. But I'm wondering, are the wide receivers performing well, or is it just Drake Maye making them look good? The argument is, would any of these Patriots receivers be starters on good teams?
Diggs would. Kayshon Boutte might be a third guy, and Pop Douglas probably not. But you can see why ignoring him altogether is a bad idea, right? Like that was a tendency breaker on that call. It's a very simple play action concept, but you're not expecting the 5'8" dude to go deep. So he does. He gets open. He's fast. He's quick. As far as Boutte, though, it's so interesting because that touchdown I just referenced, his first one, contested catch grab, beautiful throw by Maye, who gave him a chance. So in that instance, you go, Maye's elevating Kayshon Boutte, who had no separation. Boutte also before that catch, and Mike Charity pointed this out in my podcast last night, is fighting like all hell just to get downfield. And that's a kid who I think 2 years ago would have been like, F this, he's holding me. If I don't get a flag, I'm just going to stop. And instead, he keeps fighting. He goes to the end zone. The play extends, and he's open. So for him also to win in that back shoulder throw, I think is really reflective of the work he's put in. He's matured, Kayshon Boutte has, more than any young Patriots player I have covered in the last 7.5 years. And the other stat that's telling about this, and this is true.
He's got the yips.
He had 4 of their 6 catches.
It's amazing to watch this happen in real time.
I'm just trying to slowly but surely build back credibility and have a little fun.
Yeah.
He had 4 of their 6 catches against man coverage. So when it's one-on-one and Drake wants a guy to throw to, he's looking at him. The other 2, of course, went to Stephon Diggs, including on a 4th down. And Drake goes to Diggs more in critical situations than anybody. Maybe any quarterback receiver duo in the league. They're getting away with it now. But ultimately, Diggs is delivering. So, yeah, one or 2 of them can start.
Are we to the point where a defensive coordinator, say Tennessee defensive coordinator, has to look and go, oh, my God, we got to stop Stephon Diggs this week?
I probably would early and then hope that buys me time late when I single him up because, the Patriots didn't throw all that often. There weren't a lot of design touches for him. In fact, that same play I'd referenced that for a third time, Boutte's first touchdown. They had this fake screen to the right. It's a pump seam play where you fake a screen like a bubble, and then the 2 guys who are quote-unquote blocking go downfield. That was their leveraging of the Saints understanding, hey, they want to get the ball to Diggs. Except they didn't bite. So I think everyone understands, like, he's producing a whole lot, but there's not a lot of juice still left there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, he's not a guy you need a safety over the top because he's running 4-3.
That was my
Diggs.
point.
But on third down, I'd throw a double at him or 2, and then late in the game, if I discourage Maye from looking at him, maybe add in some pressure or roll somewhere else.
All right. What the hell was I just about to say? I had a whole thing.
Was it about the receivers?
Yeah. Do you think anyone else could be a starter for him? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No. You mentioned that Kayshon Boutte has matured and that he's gotten better, and you've seen that. Drake Maye has done this a couple of different ways now. He's spread it around. He focused in on Diggs and the Buffalo win. I think Kayshon Boutte ended up being the go-to guy after. Looked earlier on, it might be Pop Douglas. So is he getting the most out of these guys right now? And can they continue like this, or it's just a matter of time before they need to just say, okay, we need to get him an actual number one?
He's getting the most out of them. I think that's unquestionable. And part of it is the accuracy.
Is it the ceiling for these guys? What you've seen from Boutte right now? He's matured so much. Are we seeing the best that he's going to be?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, no. Because, he's a third-year player, right? In his first year, he's out of shape. He doesn't have the right attitude. Second year, there's still some of that lingering around. This year, he's in the best shape of his life, maybe since LSU. And he's reminded everyone, hey, I was going to be a first-round pick after my freshman year, which fans would remind me, and I go, that's cool. 2020, I had hair. Like, this is a long time ago. We don't need to hear about Kayshon Boutte's freshman season. But the point is, I don't know how much better he'll get this year. He's clearly excellent in the contested catch situations. And one-on-one, you can go up and give it to him. But Drake Maye has to put the ball there in the exact spot where he has a chance, and he's been doing that. So how much do both of those sustain at the same time? I don't know. But Boutte, I think next year he'll be better than he is right now.
But I think the overall theory is the next box that really needs to be checked is to get this kid a number one guy. If he's doing all of this with decent to good receivers, what would he do if he actually had a threat that defensive coordinators had to lose sleep over?
It's a good question. The crazy thing is when you talk about okay, he's doing well with these receivers. He's not just getting by. This isn't survive and advance. This is conquer and dominate. They're the top 5 pass offense in the whole league.
Yeah, he looks like one of the best quarterbacks in football. There's no question.
I think, and I wrote this today in my film review, that if they want a simple fix, and this is not easy, but it is simple, you need to upgrade the run game because that can be just as efficient as all these kind of dink and ducks. And then when you take your shots, which are often schemed and timing as much as just a dude gets open.
Trade for Breece Hall.
That's another option. I see is if you get your running game going, that's another receiver who you can just kind of hand off to for 5 yards instead of throwing it to him.
For all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.